Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to episode 3 of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, it was an interesting episode to say the least, as in our 82 games, we didn't win a single game, but we did have some interesting results in the fact that Mauricio Wilm developed an X Factor, which is really cool. I'm hoping that he could get a zone ability soon too, because that would be great. But he had 40 points in his rookie year, which is not too bad at all. But you could see that our team was absolutely tragic. I was also very impressed with Tucker Palin, considering he's a defenseman and he almost actually led our team in points. So very impressed with these two guys, our first two picks in the series. And for sure, Wilma is obviously going to be here for a long time, but Palin, he might be one of those guys that we only have for the first few years before he starts to get replaced because of his potential. He actually might have jumped up in potential, because was he in a low 7th D before? I feel like he was a low 7th D, not a medium 7th. He might have actually jumped up in potential, which is kind of nuts. So maybe we're able to develop this guy into being actually something. But yeah, very happy with how our first season went, even though we didn't win our first game. But anyways, before we get into our very first draft and the entire first offseason, so to speak, I do have quite a few comments to go over, so let me get into my comment mode and let's go over some comments. So the first one is from Saturn Otaku, who says, "Dang, I thought you would have at least won one game, but if I recall correctly, you scored more goals in your first season here than Anchorage did. Your penalty kill also wasn't too far off from Vancouver's IRL result last season. Baby steps in." I agree. I think this team is, even though it was a bad first season where we didn't win a single game, we're making little baby steps, right? And obviously, as we start to develop more prospects, draft more good players, this team will start to win like 5 games, then they'll start to win 10 games, then maybe get into like the 15 to 20 game range. So I think it was a pretty successful first year in a way, just because of the fact we saw like Wilm and Palin show that they're actually going to be decent players for at least the beginning of this franchise mode. Next comment is from Tyler G 1994, who says, "Yep, I like the idea of picking that shutdown D-man for the draft. You got to score and now have a nice guy to build on the back end. Should get that low league guy and maybe take that Ponikarovsky guy. I know he won't be franchised, but isn't he guaranteed to be a low leader or at least a top 6 forward? Maybe we should take that goalie named Goalie too for the memes. I don't even care if he's crap." So yeah, maybe we take that goaltender, because there is a goaltender with the last name Goalie. I think that's like the first time I've ever seen that. But yeah, with the first pick, I think we're definitely going to be taking a shutdown defenseman. We are drafting 3rd overall because draft lottery logic, but I think we'll probably go with Kolesnik unless Kuda somehow falls. I don't really feel like taking these real players like Tanner Howe or Berkeley Catan, so I think Kolesnik would be who I'd be going for. The next comment is from Dylan Burrows, who says, "When Crosby retires, got to get him as a coach or scout because you're in Halifax." And yeah, if he becomes a coach or a scout, yeah, that would be a kind of a cool thing. Him or like somebody like Nathan McKinnon or somebody that has like Halifax ties, that would definitely be a cool thing to do for the series. So we'll definitely look into that once those guys actually start to retire. The next comment is from Flame Husky, who says, "My suggestion, clean 0-82 record, fantastic. Instead of that DFD, I'd go off the board and pick Clark Caswell, as he's the perfect guy to play alongside Wilm. Left wing / center playmaker who could feed him some nasty passes. For coaches, I'd get a guy with A- teaching, or A, it's his A teaching, I think actually. It's probably, yeah, it's A level teaching he's trying to say. A forward coach, if possible, would help grow Wilm and possibly Caswell. And with scouting, I would say sign A-graded scouts each year and then turn them into amateur scouts, since pro scouting is useless unless in a draft to glory series, or useless in a draft to glory series, not unless." And also, how the hell did Anaheim win the cup? Can you show their rosters? So, yeah, about Clark Caswell, I don't really think I want to go for somebody like him. Sure, he's a good fit and all that, but I want to go for like more of the generated guys, and there honestly might be more forwards in the upcoming drafts than defenders in early rounds. And even if these guys are just shutdown DFDs, I'd rather probably take one early on in this draft, so that way in the future years maybe we just need to look more for forwards, and that way we have at least one really good defenseman for the start of the series. But he was asking about what the Anaheim Ducks cup winning roster looks like, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that to start this episode. So let's actually go to, I guess the contract screen would make the most sense, because I think they might have already made some adjustments to the roster and sending players down. but we'll definitely take a look at what they're rocking after that cup wins. So Zegers, Matt Duchene apparently went there, so I guess Dallas traded him. They also have Mason McTavish still, Ryan Strome, Henrik Lundestrom, so Duchene's like the only real addition there. You still have Killorn, McGinn, Max Jones, Troy Terry. Daniel Sprong went back there from Detroit, I guess. Victor Arvidsson was brought in from LA. And they drafted some guy named Ferentz in year number 1. I can kind of see why they got better. Defensively, they brought in Gossis Barantanev. Okay. They also brought in Eric Brandstrom, too. And that's pretty much it. And Malcolm Subban. So they actually added quite a bit of pieces in that first year. So that's why they won the Stanley Cup. I can kind of see why maybe in a way. But I still think this is not really a Stanley Cup winning team. But I mean, it doesn't look really that bad on paper. Like that Ferentz guy is definitely a great addition. And then the last comment I want to go over is from Dustin Wald, who says, nah, don't worry about a coach yet till you get like 5 bona fide players. Scouts, you probably should, as it's easy to take care of them. Also, this has surprised me a bit as you sucked a bit more than I expected. And yeah, I didn't really expect us to go 0-82, but we did. And also, yeah, about what was he saying again? Let me look at that comment again. Oh yeah, you have not to worry about a coach till we have like 5 bona fide players. I actually agree with that. I think instead of looking for a coach right now, it might be better for us to wait a little bit. That way we could get kind of guys that all kind of fit with the same coach, and we're not just like building one. Like we're not getting a coach that's just good with Wilm for the future. We're getting one that's good with like whoever we draft for these first 5 years. So anyways, those were the comments that I wanted to go over from last episode. So thank you guys again for the support on that second episode. And yeah, let's get into this first draft. I think what we're definitely going to be taking is, like I said, that defenseman, because one of those defenders will fall to us at 3 for sure. And then there is one guaranteed low elite. We're definitely going to take him if we can. We'll maybe take chances on guys like Ponikarovsky as well. So we'll pin him. And let me pin the other low elite guy as well, because we want to start building. Actually, I already have him pinned. Okay, that's good. And we'll pin goalie as well, just because maybe we look for another goalie this year, because there is supposed to be a good chunk of goalies this year. So maybe we take 2 goaltenders in this draft, depending on what we feel like. But yeah, let's just get into this draft and see what we're getting. And then we're going to get some scouts signed up as well after the re-sign stage, and make sure our roster's set up for the start of next season. Also, one thing I did need to take a look at, which I'll have to do at the start of the season, I got a suggestion from one of the guys in the Discord to look at basically all 3 of our jerseys for our teams. So we are going to be doing that at the start of the season. It might be in this episode. It might end up falling to next episode though. Okay, so Ottawa's got the first overall pick, followed by Montreal, then us. So 3 Canadian teams with the top 3 picks. So who is Ottawa taking at 1? They take Kuda. So Kuda's only a 77. So this might be a little bit of a weaker draft class as well. So he goes first overall. I don't know if he's a real player or not. Husky would probably know since he's Finnish, but I honestly don't know if that guy's real. And Montreal at 2 takes Berkeley Catan. So yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a weaker draft class, because we're not having any guys in the 80s to start off with, and obviously we took Wilm last year, who was a franchise guy. So I'm guessing Kolesnik's going to be like a 76, something around as well. Yeah, he's probably not going to be super high. He's got good physical, but these other attributes definitely need some work. But I do like Kolesnik, I think, as an addition as well, because he's a right-handed defenseman. And obviously right-hander D-men are kind of like a big thing to have for our team. So let's take Vitaly Kolesnik, which is actually kind of funny because I didn't even realize that's actually the exact same name as the former Colorado Avalanche goaltender that is from Kazakhstan in like 2006. But anyways, yeah, there is Kolesnik, 72 overall. That's pretty low to start, but he should be able to jump up to being a pretty good defenseman after 1 year. And obviously he's going to be our top defender by a long shot. He doesn't have any X factors right now, but he definitely could develop some like good defensive ones. Like maybe he's going to develop like truculence or ice pack or even shutdown. That would be great. Let's send him to our next pick at 34 and see what we could snag up here. Yikes. Top 6 defenders. Yeah, this is not a great class either. I don't even know why the draft class feels like it's weaker than in years prior. Maybe it's just because of the fact, what is it? This is a draft to glory. I don't really know. because I didn't adjust anything. Low top 6 forward, and I feel like I should just go for the low elites and stuff at this rate, like the people we were looking into. Because a lot of these guys, honestly, probably aren't that good. I mean, I might just take another person here first and then go into our low elites, because the low elites aren't supposed to go to like 100. I feel like this Jekko guy has to be real. Paul Mayer. Hey, he's an OFD, though. That's not bad. You know what? We might just go for him. Even though he's got medium top 60 potential, I do like the fact that he's an offensive defenseman. So, hey, Paul Mayer, welcome aboard as well. 56 overall, not the greatest, but hey, it's a player to build up around, and maybe this guy actually ends up picking up some points at the NHL level. His passing's a 70 already, and then he also has the shot power. Not really the accuracy yet, of course, though. Yeah, I don't mind that pick, because that way we could actually have almost like a full defensive core of our players, which would be kind of nice. So now we'll probably look into that low elite if we want to. So let's sort by potential. There is Ponikarovsky still as well. I could already take Ponikarovsky instead and take Stajan next round, but since we know Stajan's a guaranteed low elite, let's just take Stajan here already. He's going to be a low overall, but he will be a player we develop into hopefully being pretty good. He's a 49 overall, two-way forward. I mean, his shooting is pretty balanced. In general, he's a pretty balanced player, so we'll see if this guy ends up becoming a good low elite pick for us. Because some of them only jumped up to like 79, but he could be one of those guys that jump up really quickly in a few years if he plays with the right people. Like maybe we want to play him as the top line center next to Wilm if we are going to still use Wilm as a right winger. So, and yeah, now we'll take Vitaly Ponikarovsky here just to take a chance on him. We don't know for a fact that this guy's going to be good. He might have a superstar ability. I really doubt it at this stage, but we'll take a chance on this guy. He might be low elite, so let's see. And he is low elite. Let's go. Okay, Ponikarovsky, 55 overall, low elite sniper. So adding a couple of low elites here in this first ever draft, that's pretty nice to have for late round picks. I like it. Even though these guys are long shots in a way, like Ponikarovsky has 75 shooting across the board. He might become something pretty good for us early on. And maybe we play him as a second liner behind Wilm. And maybe our offense starts getting better on the top 6 already. I like it. I like that pick quite a bit. Maybe we'll go for another goalie here, so that way we could have both goalies. Yeah, there is supposed to be multiple goalies going at this stage. Holy crap. The top rated players at this stage are almost all goalies. 4, 6. Yeah, there's 6 goalies out of these next 7 picks that are supposed to go. So I don't really know who I want to go with because we don't have anything really about Fabian Banks. There's a long eye who's not looking too good. 5 years out, fringe starter. There is Frederick goalie there. I feel like we got to take goalie just for the memes here. They're probably all just fringe starters, so they'll probably all have like similar overalls and potentials and all that. This guy's probably a backup though. Tucker Mears, a lot of American goalies actually. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for Frederick goalie, like Tyler was saying. Might as well go for the meme pick. He is 19. That's the only problem I have, but there is a couple 19-year-olds at this stage. So Frederick goalie, welcome aboard to Halifax. 50 overall fringe starter. I'll take it. I will take it. He'll be probably the starter next year. It'll be between him and Dave Cameron for sure. Both of them will be obviously playing though. I like that pick. Let's take our next player here. What do we want to go for? Yikes. At this stage, it's just going to be a bunch of crap because you see a bunch of medium 7th So we have a lot of defensemen. I feel like we should probably lean towards maybe another forward. So let's go for the 17-year-old and Joel Pitton. Medium bottom 6 potential for sure, and he's a sniper. Gives us maybe more depth scoring, so I'll take that. 51 overall. Probably a guy that's not going to be here long term, but still might be good for the first few years. And now our final pick of our very first draft, so to speak. We will maybe go for a center, or do we want to go off the board here? There's another goaltender, but he's probably like an AHL starter. Let's just see if there's anybody that could be a low lead still. There is Vitaly Sherov. I don't know. I might just take a chance on him because he could be a low lead, but it's a very low chance that he actually is. Like, he's probably like a low bottom 6 or something. Let's take a chance with Sherov. Boom. And he's a low top 9, but 48 overall, so hey, at least he has potential. But he's likely not going to become much for us. But there is our very first draft of this franchise mode. Very excited to see what those guys do in their first season. Hopefully we get a lot of growth from those low leads, especially because that could go a long way in terms of taking his team to that next level, or those baby steps, so to speak. So there is that. And let's get to the re-sign stage here. So we got to go to our R phase here. Actually, let me go to all the guys that we need to sign up for. So, 2 defensemen, 4 forwards, and a goalie. Okay, so basically, I will have to let go of 2 defenders, 4 forwards, and a goalie to make room for these guys. So, all these guys will be NHL bound next season, and hopefully we can get some solid chemistry, even though we don't necessarily have our best coach yet. And we'll start looking for scouts after we get this re-sign stage done. So this might be a little bit of a longer episode again. There we go. All those guys are signed. So let's go to our R phase. How much UFAs do we got? Okay, so it might be UFAs we end up letting go of instead. But those guys might be the ones we gave a lot of money to. I don't remember. I'll just qualify all these guys. Hopefully with the stuff that they fixed in this game, hopefully they fixed draft glories in the sense where basically it's not like these players don't ask for crazy amounts of money, you know. So we'll qualify all of these guys. Might as well. That way we have at least enough players for the AHL. Oh wow, the qualifying offer was 16.7 on Henriksen. I didn't even realize that was probably one of the guys we gave a lot of money to. I'll just give it to him anyways though, because we do need still those cap whales. Yeah, it's literally, I guess, what I offered them last year, so we'll keep on to our cap whales. Man, we have so many RFAs. Holy crap, man. But at least once we're done with it, we won't have to deal with them again. I think they'll all be UFAs next offseason. So then we're going to get into the territory where it's going to be kind of interesting. Okay. Let's see, I think that might be the last one. Never mind. There's still more above. It's kind of weird that it's switching it out of order after I qualified them, though. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so all those guys are qualified. Let's go to the goaltenders. We are going to be letting go of Gar, I think, because he's... Actually, no, it's Ranta we want to let go of, because I don't know why the game signed me Ranta. We'll hold on to Gar. So that way we still have our goaltenders that we need. And then UFA-wise, let me just take a look here. So unsigned-wise, like I said, we had 2 defenders, 4 forwards, and a goaltender. So we could let go of some of these guys here if we want to. We already have technically the contract space to technically sign everybody, so we might as well just bring back everybody that was on the team originally, even though these guys want one-way deals. That's actually kind of hilarious. See, that's one thing I was hoping they would be fixing is the contract stuff, like their demanding price. I mean, 1.15 is not much, so I'm going to give it to them. But I don't really know why a 54 should be asking for that much, you know. But I don't know. I think they just don't expect people to play this type of draft to glory style, you know. They should probably have like a draft to glory mode specifically or whatever. But let's advance today, see if we get all these guys in, which we probably should. Some of them are rejecting, which is probably the UFAs, yeah. It's the UFAs. Let's just let the UFAs walk then. I don't really care too much about them, so. And our RFAs are all qualified, which they'll honestly all sign pretty quickly here. All our unsigned guys are signed up. So we are good to just sim to the free agent portion. And if we need to still sign some players for our roster, we'll definitely do that. All these RFAs probably will accept. I don't think anybody would reject. There you go, or not accept anything yet. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at our contract situation here. We should probably have more than enough players now. Yeah, we're at 44 out of 50. We should be fine. So NHL-wise, Wilm will be in the NHL for sure, obviously. Then we'd have like Finley still. We would be bringing in Ponikarovsky to the NHL. We'd be bringing in Kolesnik, Palin, Emelin. We almost have a full defensive core of our prospects. That's good. And then we'd finally have Cameron and goalie. Do we have 2 goaltenders? No, we don't in the AHL. So I am going to have to sign ourselves a goalie for the AHL. So that way they don't sign me Antti-Ranta again. Antti-Ranta must have felt pretty bad getting sent to the AHL on a team that's this bad, but it is what it is. So let me just make sure we get that goaltender signed. I'm not going to focus on who's out there for free agents because obviously that doesn't appeal to us. Let's sign ourselves a low overall goaltender. So Cedric Andre, or whatever his name was, Clays Andre. We'll sign you up as one of our AHL goaltenders. And we are going to go over now to the scouting stuff. This stuff is kind of tedious, but I'm going to keep it in the episode. We actually have a lot of A+ scouts already. We just need to assign them to the right regions. Okay. That's not bad. Like, they're overall, some of them are pretty bad, but we just need to basically assign them all to different regions, so we'll do that. So we already got 2 WHL, 2 HL. Let me just get rid of the pro scouts, because we don't need the pro scouts. Actually, we might assign them to a different region instead. Yeah, we might do that. So we need maybe another... We need a USA Central. That's why some of those guys weren't getting scouted. So we will... let's see. How do I reassign these scouts again? Can I not do that this offseason? Yeah, I don't think I could do that this offseason. I have to wait till the actual start of the season. So we'll do that at the start of the season. We probably have enough scouts. Unless there's better scouts out there. So let's actually go to that and see if there's any better scouts out there for us to hire. In terms of like overall rating, which there's not really. There is not really. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to bring in any scouts because we have, how much scouts do we have right now? 18 out of 20. We could still sign 2 more. So you know what? We're going to sign 2 more scouts. Even if they're crap ones. We might as well sign them up. So we'll sign up 2 of them. Let's assign 2 European scouts. And then we'll readjust this. I might readjust this after I finish the video because I don't want you guys having to sit through that because it's pretty boring. But I'll probably do that at the start of next season. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. Now let's begin the sim up to next season and get our lines adjusted. I'm very excited to see what teams are looking like. Or at least prospect-wise. Like, because we should have almost like a full defensive core now at this stage. And... in terms of, offensively, we might have a top 6 almost now. Maybe some guys will be third liners. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting second season for sure. We should be able to win at least 1 game this year, I feel like. But let's see what we're working with roster-wise. Make sure we have everybody up here that should be. We'll go to the AHL here, and let's go to centers. We got to call up Finley, Gerbovsky, Stajan, Sharov as well needs to come up, so we gotta make a couple send downs here. Let's just send down these 2 guys. We gotta send down another one too. Let's just go with you. Actually, let's go with the best player. Let's make it a bit tougher for us to win games. So we gotta call up Sharov. We gotta call up Rolison. Rolison's up to a 55. That's a pretty good first year because he was like a 48 when we drafted him. Was Pitton one we drafted? I think so, right? Let me double check. Joel Pitton, yeah, 6th round pick. Okay, Pitton is up as well. We'll send 3 more forwards down, I guess. So we will send down the best players that we didn't draft, which are those 3 guys. We'll go back to the AHL again. Defensively, we need none of these guys up here. I didn't draft any of these dudes. I'm pretty certain on that. Yep, that's good. And goalie-wise, Dave Cameron needs to come up, and Gar needs to go down. Perfect. That's going to be good. Let's just go best lines for now and adjust our lineup. So, last year we had Wilm on the right wing. I'm going to still leave that up to you guys. Do you think he should be a center or a right winger? He had a pretty solid first season as a right winger, but he could be our top line center if we really want to. But I still would like to get guys like Gerbovsky growth, so I feel like putting Gerbovsky or Stajan as the first line center might be a better play. So we will put Gerbovsky still for the top line. I think Finley, since he's bottom 6, will stay there. We'll get Stajan into the top 6 with his low lead potential. Rolson could go to the top line again. And, actually, maybe he'll go to face-off stats. Stajan's not good at face-offs, actually, so maybe I'll put him on the left side and put Finley as the center between them because he's a bit better face-off-wise. So that way we almost have 2 full first lines. Ponikarovsky needs to get in still, though. Pitton and Sherov. So let's get Ponikarovsky into the second line. So Ponikarovsky in. And then we will get Pitton and Sherov. Pitton's a right winger and Sherov's a center. So we'll get those guys in. We have almost like a full 3 lines, which is kind of nice. Because we've drafted that many forwards. So, yeah, Rolison, Grabowski, Wilm, Ponikarovsky, Finley, and Stajan. And then we have Sherov and Pitton as the third liners. I like that. That's not bad. But, yeah, let me know about the center situation. Should Wilm go back to center? I know some of you guys were saying that last season. Or do we give a chance to guys like Grabowski because he's getting some big growth playing next to somebody like Wilm. So there's that. Palin and Kolesnik, perfect actually, because Palin was great offensively last year. Kolesnik's a great DFD to have next to him. Then we have Emelin. We'll move Mayer up to play with Emelin because we drafted him. And that's good. So we have like almost a full top 9 and a full top 4 on our defense. I like it. Hopefully we can get some good growth this year. And then goalie-wise, Dave Cameron will be starting this season, and Frederick Goalie will be the backup. I like it. It's not too bad. Let me make sure our power play is set up as well. Ponikarovsky on the power play is a good thing to have because he's a good shooter, so I'll keep him there. We'll take this dude out for Rolison. And then power play number 2, we will put in... I don't know about Stajan because he's a 2-way forward. Yeah, well, maybe keep Stajan off the power play. So we'll have Finley, Pitton, and who else do we want to put on the power play lines? Actually, Grabowski should probably be there instead because I don't think he was, right? Yeah, he's not. We'll take Finley off the power play and give Grabowski it since he's got the playmaker status. And we'll go over to right side wise. Let's see, our left center again. We'll get Sherov on the power play too since he's a playmaker. And Rolison needs to be off the point. We will get the other defenders in. So I think Mayer was on the first unit already. So we'll get Emelin in. And who's the other defenseman that isn't on a power play unit? Oh, it's Kolesnik. Since Kolesnik's a DFD, I wouldn't normally put him on there. But he's an elite potential player. So we're going to throw him in there anyways. Even if that makes him minus. Yeah, right now our current coach doesn't work well with this team. But that is okay. Let me take a look at the penalty kill briefly. We will take Pitton off this unit and throw Stajan in that spot. Because maybe we could develop Stajan into being a good penalty killer for this team. So there is that. That's all set up and ready to go. And that's going to be our team for year number 2. Will Wilm develop himself a gold X Factor by the end of year 2? I feel like he could. I feel like he could. So there is that, and I think that's almost it. How long has this episode been? Like 25 minutes, maybe around? We will take a look at our new players and their faces in this episode as well. But first, before we get into that, I did want to show you guys our jerseys, which means I have to sim up to the start of the preseason. So let me do that. Show you guys our jerseys for our team because obviously that is something that is important. Obviously you guys saw the home jersey. There is a bug, so I don't know if it will make my jerseys weird, but there is the road jersey. As you can see, pretty much inversed of the home jersey, and this is the alternate. I'm not sure if I like this alternate. I came up with a weird design. So yeah, these are basically our 3 jerseys for our team. Let's take a look at the new guys and see what their faces are looking like. Hopefully we don't got a bunch of old men like in last episode. And then that'll be it for episode number 3. Next episode will simulate all year 2. So we're kind of flying through this a little bit quick, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can develop this team into being a playoff team within like 10 seasons or so. So the first guy we got to take a look at, Aiden Stajan. Aiden Stajan, what is he looking like? He's probably going to look crazy, my guess. He looks basic. Let's take a look at his face. Yeah, it's pretty basic. Nothing really too special with him. Because some of the players that we've had so far have looked pretty cool. But Stajan's probably one of the most basic looking guys there is. Let's look at Vitaly Sherov, who was the 7th rounder, right? Yeah, 7th round pick. Does he have a cool look to him? Like any cool beard or something? Let's see. Sharov. Oh, he's got a kind of a cool look. Yeah, kind of. It's not the best look I've ever seen, but he's got some nice skates that kind of actually match our jerseys, so I do like those quite a bit. So there he is. He's rocking the number 11. Final few players. Well, actually, there's 5 more players to take a look at. Let's see. Left wing wise, we don't need to take a look at anybody. Right wing wise, there is Ponikarovsky, who I think I'm the most excited for Ponikarovsky out of the guys we drafted, other than the DFD. So, on the offensive front, I think Ponikarovsky could hit 13 goals or so at least this season. He looks pretty basic too. Rocking a long hairstyle, yellow skates, not bad. Do like his stick though, it kind of also goes with our team colors. So there is Vitaly Ponikarovsky. We also have Pitton, who I think, yeah, we just drafted 6th round, Joel Pitton. Let's take a look at what he's looking like. I feel like he's going to be the craziest guy yet. Let's see. No. He's got the same face as one of the other guys we literally just looked at. Huh. Pretty basic look. And he's wearing number 98. Connor Bedard, who, right? Because Connor Bedard wears 98, I think. I want to make sure I'm right on that. Defensively, we do got a couple guys to take a look at. So Kolesnik and Mayer. So obviously Kolesnik being our 3rd overall pick. Hopefully he becomes something decent enough. And oh man, that smile kind of scared me at first. He's pretty basic, nothing too special with him. Does have a nice yellow stick and some okay looking skates. So there is Vitaly Kolesnik. Then we'll take a look at Mayer. And then we will look at the goaltender, and then that'll be it. What is Mayer looking like? Let's see. Okay, pretty basic as well. Nothing too crazy with these guys so far. Our first year we had a lot more crazy old men, but it looks like some guys are actually looking their age, which is good. And our goaltender and goalie, I do eventually got to edit the goalie pads and stuff like that, but I'm probably not going to do that till we actually have a guy that's going to be like our main starting goalie for a long time. But here is Frederick goalie. He's got a mullet as well, wearing number 1. So he's the number 1 goalie, but even though he's the backup. So there is that. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draftable Franchise Mode. So in next episode, we will simulate all of year 2. We'll see if we're able to win a game this year. And we'll also see if some of our other guys other than Wilm just start developing some X factors. And if those guys could kind of build on their first season. Send anything down below. And I'll see you guys next time.